Letters to Lelia, by Frances Rosenfeld. Chapter 13, Paradigm Shift. Where are the feeding schedules for the dragons? Sister Joseph boomed through the interlink. I thought you were going to draw them up. You said you didn't trust us to do them properly, Sister Felix defended herself. What do we need you for, then, if I have to do everything myself? Sister Joseph said. Sister, please tone it down, Seth intervened. At least I can do my job. Sister Joseph snapped back. Since when is putting together the feeding schedule for the dragons my job? Sister Felix protested at the unreasonable expectation. Since you've been assigned to the logistics team, Sister Joseph replied. When did that happen? Sister Felix jumped, surprised. Wake up, sister. We can't afford to keep fixing the outcomes of your ineptitude. Most of us aren't allowed to make the same mistake over and over again. Sister Joseph replied, enraged. What on earth did I do? Sister Felix asked generically, through the interlink, to find out if any of the other sisters picked up on what Sister Joseph's problem was with her. Don't you dare put any of your chores on my schedule. I expect them to get done without any input from me. The day of the event will come, and as always, you have no plan for what to do. The arrangements aren't done, the cleaning isn't done. What is it that you do around here? Sister Joseph continued her abusive streak, in everybody's presence. Sister, I've done everything that depended on me on time. It is not my fault that the Wisps changed the schedule without any explanation and at the last minute. If anything, I should be upset. Sister Felix tried to appease her. How dare you? Sister Joseph jumped on the comment viciously, in a rage. How dare you blame this on the Wisps? Everybody else manages to carry their own weight. Don't blame others for your incompetence, sister. It's not fair that your mistakes are always tolerated, only God knows why. What will you do if something requires modifications? You're not capable of doing anything by yourself. Is there anyone else here who thinks Sister Joseph is completely out of line, or did I really lose all touch with reality? Sister Felix inquired through the interlink. Oh, I made a habit of not listening to her ranting. I have better things to do with my life, Sister Roberta replied through the interlink. You're a drain on our resources and a terrible example for the students. We'd all be better off without your wasteful incompetence. I hate people like you. You have nothing to contribute but problems, that's all you know how to do, and you do it all the time. Sister Joseph continued ranting. Sister Felix just stood there for a second, wondering why none of the other sisters were outraged by the vicious and blatant emotional abuse. Everybody continued their activities as if this outburst were normal. So, what do you expect me to do, sister? Do you want me to draft the feeding schedules for the dragons? Sister Felix asked, trying to ignore Sister Joseph's bullying. I expect you to not be useless, just once. You are the worst human being I ever encountered. Everybody is doing something with their lives. Sister, you're the only one who creates nothing but excels at consuming. You fill all your days with worthless activities and have no sense of duty or responsibility. I'm sick of dealing with you. Sister Joseph finished her rant and her bracelet shut down. One would have expected Sister Felix to be shocked by the outburst, but it wasn't the first time she was at the receiving end of Sister Joseph's bullying. I'm sorry, sister, Roberta finally spoke. It took me a while to get to the core and shut down her bracelet. Seth has revoked her interlink privileges until the bonding ceremony. Are you okay? Roberta asked, worried. I guess so, Felix said, although I really don't understand what I did to set her off this time. She's escalating, she said in a softer tone. I really don't think this is okay. There should be consequences for this type of behavior. I'm not an animal. There will be, I can assure you, Seth interjected. As luck would have it, I just came back from a similar experience. I wanted to tell you about it. Monsieur Roger gave me a quick demonstration of his new emotional awareness seminar. It was pretty close to Sister Joseph's rant, actually, only heavier on the theatrics. I see now how being psychologically guarded against this kind of attack could come in handy, but it makes me wonder if my emotional makeup is a magnet for abusive behavior. Whatever the reason, it has to be remedied really fast, because it looks to me like the perpetrators get rewarded for it. Sister Felix, our order never tolerates this type of behavior. I assure you that it will be dealt with, every time, in ways that will not disturb your life, Seth assured her. Tell me more about that program Monsieur Roger proposed. It's not something I can describe, it's something you have to experience. It helps you understand how easily your decisions and behavior can be swayed by emotional manipulation. Although I'm not sure that using any of those techniques is entirely ethical, I can't imagine what kind of experiences engendered that knowledge base. You're not an emotional wreck, Seth observed. Other people would be angry or crying. I guess Monsieur Roget's school of psych bruising works after all, Felix replied. You don't seem rattled either, she noticed, looking at Seth. Oh, I've been through the program before you, a while back. Whatever for? Sister Felix exclaimed. You worry we're going to be engaged in psychological warfare? What, Sister Joseph doesn't do it for you anymore? Seth laughed. Don't you find the thought of having to change your entire emotional makeup in order to be able to put up with one person a little unsettling? Sister Felix asked. Maybe, but it's effective, the leader replied. When does the program start? After the ceremony, Felix replied. Let me know when it does. I have a few suggestions for customization, Seth offered. To Elise Vertes, Terra 2, July 15, 3245. Beloved child. What a joy it is for me to witness you undergo this rite of passage. It feels like only yesterday I learned the blessed news of your coming into being from your mother, who at the time seemed to me to be no more than a child herself. There were so many stories I considered sharing with you, but I decided on this interesting anecdote that happened to me last week. Do you remember Monsieur Roget? Of course not. He and I met way before your time. We tend to lose track of the decades here. He contacted me through the interlink to inquire about expanding the Institute's programs into their area, with focus on education programs. I jumped at the chance, of course, eager to put what we achieved here to good use, so I responded immediately and told him I'll take a trip to his island the following day. A few sisters grumbled about this activity being on such short notice, because I wanted to bring with me samples, educational materials and curricula, all of which had been more or less developed, depending on the various educators' teaching styles, but they scrambled whatever they could find in a hurry and put a package together. As for me, you know me, I just get engrossed in a subject and teach whatever comes to mind about it, not really Monsieur Roget's preferred presentation device, I thought, so I was a little nervous about the encounter. I never felt comfortable with the solenoid, so I caught a shipment barge, they are faster and more frequent than passenger carriers, and spent my 2 hours of travel feverishly assembling notes and organizing materials, seated on a crate of cucumbers among sacks of wheat, barrels of honey and cages of live chickens, and trying to keep my mind on task in the midst of the racket. I worked until the very last second, and as the barge pulled into the dock I uploaded the information on the interlink. I got out of the hatch, huffing and puffing under the load I was trying to squeeze through it along with my person, a task better fitted for a cat than a human being, and in my struggle I caught a glimpse of a very flustered Monsieur Roget, standing on the deck with arms akimbo and irately stomping his foot. I managed to extract my body from the too small opening I got stuck in, composed myself and approached him serenely, with a hopeful smile on my face. Where is the rest of the team? He boomed, staring at the cargo ship in hopes that maybe another oversized person/gear component might squeeze out of the hatch at any moment. I'm sorry, I didn't understand. I thought you wanted to discuss the curriculum, I started explaining, taken aback by his sullen welcome. I already have all your materials, why do you think I called you? If we wanted to present what's already there we could have done it already, we're well educated too, you know, he mumbled, offended. What exactly did you have in mind, then? I asked, confused, dropping the bulky containers, notepads, BR compiler and micro-alchemy machine I had brought with me. Not that, he yelled. We're going to need that, he pointed at the ladder, which I grabbed and handed to him. You need to see the fields, do you have appropriate footwear? He asked and then checked personally, to make sure. I had started to get a little annoyed by all his hustling, emotion which he chose to ignore. Where is the atmospheric stabilizer? He asked, staring me down with a deep frown between his eyebrows. He was talking about a piece of lure technology that Sister Roberta had just finished testing, a machine so sophisticated and precise that she only had one working prototype made. He read my puzzlement through the interlink and asked brusquely, why didn't she come over, then, if you don't have the know-how? This is so unnerving. At this point I was seriously upset. What kind of person decides to be so purposefully rude to someone they had invited because they appreciated their expertise? You are a recognized leader in your field, we're all honored that you decided to take a day out of, what I'm sure, is a very packed schedule, to bring us up to speed with the vanguard research at the Institute. The finest minds on the planet are gathered there, it's an honor to share your expertise, he immediately replied, in a deep, deferential tone of voice. For a moment there I thought he was talking to someone else, But I turned around and noticed we were the only people there. My wits recovered a little, because I thought I must have done something right in my life to earn my scientific reputation and a modicum of respect. We walked through the fields and his groveling demeanor amplified, making me wonder if maybe Seth had intervened in some manner to enforce a more respectful tone of conversation. "You rely on your leader to make all the decisions for you, don't you?" he snarled. Suddenly, I decided not to get upset with this person, who was obviously unbalanced, do whatever it was that I could under the circumstances and then shake the dust off my feet and never come back, but I was really starting to get concerned about my safety. "That's right, leave us all here to struggle with old technology when you have the means to improve our lives. Why, the alchemy machine alone." He got in my face. I regained my poise, because this was more in line with our order's principles. We don't withhold assistance, especially when requested, no matter how unpleasant the people in need. "Who needs your help? What gave you this sense of entitlement that you are here to save us somehow? This is unbelievable." He raised his voice and started walking faster, on purpose, so I couldn't keep up with him. Maybe he's right, I thought. Maybe we overestimate the role we played in the progress of our society. We tend to get so involved in our own activities that we don't pay attention to what other people are doing. "You got that right. If you ask me, that so-called institute is a complete waste of our society's time and resources. We should dismantle it and you all should find something productive to do with your lives." I didn't know how to react, at first, but when the message started sinking in, despite my naturally placid temperament, I was instantly outraged. How dare he? I thought, how does a person I barely know dare judge the centuries of hard work and dedication all of us have poured into this institution, one of the most prestigious and advanced centers of learning and research of its kind? Now I wasn't only outraged for myself, but for my colleagues as well, and I wasn't going to keep silent about it, no matter how rude his reaction might be. I thought about the months of constant watering, the initial failures we had to overcome, the fact that we bet our very lives on the success of our endeavor, the brilliance of Sister Roberta's innovations, Sarah's miracle work in biological research, Seth's gift for opening levels of communication with races so different from ours that, for centuries, people didn't even realize they were sentient. All the blood rushed to my cheeks and I answered in a shaky voice, "I believe that our collaboration requires a certain level of respect, both towards me and towards my esteemed colleagues and friends, that is absent in my interaction with you, and therefore I politely request to end this conversation right now. I will relay your needs to Seth and she will decide where to take this matter from here." As I turned to leave, outraged, I heard the soft chuckle of Monsieur Robert behind me, and empowered by my recent standing up for myself, despite the discomfort I felt for his completely unacceptable behavior, I wanted to know what he could possibly find amusing in this whole situation. "Please bear with me for a second, until I explain myself. Don't worry about the educational materials and equipment. Somebody was instructed to set them up in their designated classrooms. You'll find that everything is in order when the teachers start the seminars," Monsieur Roger started, trying to appease me. "We really want to have an extension of the Institute's research program here, but we would also like to offer you one of our awareness training series in return. Welcome to the Emotional Resilience Boot Camp," he said. "In a few short hours you pass through a series of negative emotions, all of which you experienced involuntarily, all externally driven and none in any way based in reality: false hope, disappointment, awkwardness, insecurity, pressure, vanity, dependency, fear, guilt, superiority complex, and finally moral outrage generated by the perceived sullying of everything you hold sacred. Please note how shifting your perspective from seeing our encounter as a real event to looking at it through the lens of a mental exercise attuned to achieve specific results already changed your emotional state and your assessment of me as a person. I would like to formally apologize for any discomfort my performance has put you through and beseech you to actively acknowledge these emotions and recognize them the next time they pop up. Between this morning and now you have not changed as a person. Your achievements, outstanding as they are, have not been diminished. This mental exercise helps you understand at gut level that there is no logical justification or benefit in second-guessing your own motives, opinions or contributions to society every time an emotional arrow is being flung at you." He smiled with anticipation. "I trust you will inform Sarah about our training program and hope that she would consider it interesting enough to offer at the Institute." I instantly reverted to my unexamined state of mind, and because I thought it would be rude to do so, I couldn't say no. On the way back, again on a cargo barge filled with coffee beans, peppercorns and cloves, I sifted through my still frazzled state of mind and reached the wisdom that we managed to live 1,000 years without having to assess the validity of our emotional states because we liked our friends enough not to throw emotional arrows at each other. On the other hand, I could see how this level of emotional control could come in handy in critical situations, God forbid. I got out of the hatch without struggling with my gear this time, since I had left most of it behind, and was greeted by a very excited Sister Roberta, with a broad smile on her face. "What happened to you? Are you okay? You look different, somehow," she said, and I felt her discomfort through the interlink. "Nothing, I just attended a presentation, maybe we'll give it a try here at the Institute," I said, and then I started thinking who would be the best candidate for a test run. Stirring negative emotions in an already subdued personality type would not be challenging enough, and Sarah already went through approval-seeking decontamination when she met the lot of us in Perpignan oh so long ago. I was curious what would happen if a strong-minded person went through this program, somebody with set opinions, someone accustomed to express criticism, someone who does not back down from confrontation. I didn't tell Sarah what was the subject of the educational seminar, because I was concerned it would detract from its effectiveness, but she suggested that Sister Joseph should give it a try. She is probably right about that. The sister complained that her schedule was already overflowing with unreasonable demands and she didn't want to waste her time with more of our pointless pet projects. Her response made me wonder whether she used to teach at Monsieur Roget's School of Hard Knocks and Emotional Buttressing, but what do I know? She's starting the program tomorrow. I'll keep you posted on how it went if she's willing to share her experience. I just wanted to give you a heads up about this class, the Cliff Notes version, if you will. I assume the understanding of the concepts has some value in and of itself, even in the absence of emotional drama. Your devoted, Sister Felix.